Hello, Dolly is the iconic musical now at the Marriott Theater in Lincolnshire through October 16th. Heidi and David, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, of
Sure.
course.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Heidi, first of all, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the role of Dolly Levi. I mean, we have Barbara Streisand, we have Bette Midler, we have you. I mean, there's so many ways to interpret that role. Tell us a little bit about, when you got this role and how you wanted to make it your own.
That's a really awesome question. When they first called me, my first thought was, "Oh, what an interesting choice!" Like, I'm delighted and thrilled because I'm not really like any of those women. Um, so it actually made it easy to make it my own because I've seen Hello Dolly many times. I saw the revival. I did not get to see Bette. I saw Donna Murphy, and she was incredible. Um, and I saw David do it with Karen Ziemba, and I did it in high school. And but because of that, this sounds sort of odd and basic, but I really just went by the words on the page because I thought, well, I am not a grand, big presence like all of those gals are. So, what are my strengths, and what is the story as I see it on the page? So, it was really fun to just sort of think of it as a new play. Interestingly enough, so that was a really fun way of making her my own in that way.
Hi, I'm going to stop you right there. I mean, you are Chicago's own version of this. I mean, you've played in every theater in Chicagoland. You've been in Wicked. You're in, people love you. You're a Jeff Award winner. So I think when people see your name, they're like, yes, Heidi is playing this role.
Oh, thank you so much. That's nice to hear. I love that I get to do this and that I get to do this here in this theater where this is my 25th show here and in this town, which is my town. I mean, I moved here in 91 and I never left. So it's to say it's a dream is an understatement. It's been amazing.
And it's not only a dream for yourself, but the two of you get to play love interest and be in a show together. David, you've worked together before, but this is a new challenge for the two of you. Talk a little bit about playing Horace and opposite of Dolly.
Well, I mean, Horace is a guy I like, but he's a foil for her. He is supposed to be this sort of grumpy older guy who needs somebody near him to open him up. He doesn't know that, but what he needs is her. And for me to look across the stage and see Heidi coming at me in that first scene, it moves me to my core. It's just so much easier to look and have these moments with the most important person in my life. I mean, when I had the opportunity to audition for the show, I mean, I've played Vandergelder before, and I was hoping that they would call me in and that I would have the opportunity to audition. But, it was just fingers crossed. Let's see if it works out. And we're both very grateful that it did.
I want to talk a little bit about your relationship dynamic because there's some great scenes between Dolly and Horace. And so are you using your acting techniques to get the parts, kind of perfect, or are you kind of taking a little bit of inspiration from your own relationship as far as kind of making those scenes different in your own? I guess asking both of you that same question.
Yeah, I think, listen, actors have to bring themselves, whatever they are, to whatever they're doing. So certainly there is an element of David and Heidi in all of those moments, but you also want to be conscious of what Michael Stewart wrote and what the rest of the creative team put together and honor it. So, yeah, there's a part of it that's David and Heidi, but and we were able to rehearse some of it at home when we needed to. But for the most part, we're just actors doing a show. And it just happens that you look across and it's, oh my God, I get to work with Heidi Kettenring.
Yeah, I think the main thing that I have found with it is and I find this with, most people that I work with, but because I trust him more than anybody, I love him more than anybody. I know that at any given time, if anything goes wrong or anything goes right for that matter, not only does he have my back, but like he knows what a raise of my eyebrow means or a tilt of my head means. And similarly, I know I can tell but the difference between he's forgotten his line or he's adding a little breath because he's doing something different. And sometimes when you're on stage, like if you don't know the person that well, those things, they take a little time. We don't have to worry about that. So I mean, it's just
how wonderful that we get to work opposite each other for the first time. I mean, we've done, I don't know, a dozen shows together over the years, and but never have we played.
We sort of came close once. We did Annie Warbucks together, where I'm like Mrs. Kelly, who is the one who's trying to.
Well, she wants to marry.
I want to marry him and then kill him. So we got to the wedding, you know, before everybody finds out that I'm a murderer. So that's as close as we've gotten to playing opposite.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out.
I do want to ask about Dolly, Heidi, and you know, she's ultimate matchmaker, and being in the theater and being so many shows. Have you had friends in the audience or cast members or anybody kind of try to make you the matchmaker as far as like, hey, you know, can you introduce me to so and so? Has that ever happened to you in real life?
Oh, absolutely. You know, not quite to that degree, but more in the past, and I won't say their names, but a dear friend who kept talking about they kept talking about each other, and I finally was like, you are meant to be together. Please ask her out. And I remember him saying, she has a boyfriend. And I said something along the lines of, I know, and I don't ever want to break people up, but he's not very nice. And
in your humble opinion,
just, you know, well, he really wasn't.
Yeah.
And just ask her out for coffee, you know, and they've been married for 15 years or so. So, you know, I guess I have a little bit of skill in the matchmaking department.
And we met doing a show. We met doing Follies out at Drury Lane Oak Brook. So I guess we were our own matchmakers as well.
As far as the show, obviously, you know, several revivals, iconic. You know, what do you think, especially seeing some of the younger people in the audience coming to see the show, as far as like just the longevity and, you know, what the show means to so many people?
I gotta say, it has been delightful how many young people have come to see this. And I'm sure that does have a little to do with the fact that the revival was so recent, and so it's more in people's zeitgeist than it would have been before that as an older musical. But it's one of the things about doing a classic, because this one is considered like the tail end of the golden age of musicals, and so like today was wonderful. It was a 1:00 matinee of just filled with older individuals with a handful of like 7-year-olds peppered in there. And that's what's been amazing, is how many people are bringing their little kids who are having a ball. I actually had a woman reach out to me on Facebook Messenger with a video of her daughters who looked like maybe they were 7, 8, 9, doing the dinner eating scene, the scene where I sit in the corner and eat. And it was these girls with their dinner doing everything that I had just done in the play while they ate their food. It's been so fun. I mean, my dad was just here and he said he was delighted. He came to the Sunday matinee and it was filled with like 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. And he did not anticipate that because it's an older musical. So it's really covered it all.
Yeah, and this is a musical that would be hard pressed to find a group of people that you could offend with this show. I mean, it's a very approachable, very accessible, fun, beautiful story with one of the great scores written in the 60s. I mean, let's face it, Jerry Herman was amazing. And, you know, there are songs and tunes in this that everybody knows, and it's lovely. Everybody has a good time. And it's funny. Funny's good.
It's funny. There's a great love story. The singing's amazing. The songs are iconic. Heidi and David, thank you so much for your time today. Go ahead and catch Hello Dolly now through October 16th at the Marriott Theater. MarriottTheater.com is where you can go ahead and get those tickets. And the show's amazing. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. It was our pleasure. Thank you.